Danvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every single day and giving your beautiful association to us. Mataji, Hare Krishna, happy Gaura-pūrṇimā to you too.
You can start the quote and then hand over to Prabhuji Mataji.
Sure, Mataji. So, welcome to Bhakti Sanga Japa group. Before we start our session for today, so most auspicious day, appearance day of our dearest Mahaprabhu, I would like to uh, read the quote of Srila Prabhupada for today's March 13. Don't approach the cheater guru, bluffer guru, and be cheated. Stop this business. This has spoiled the whole spiritual atmosphere of the world. Take Guru, the Supreme Guru, Krishna. Tehran, March 13, 1975. पतित पावन शिल प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय. So, today we are so fortunate to have His Grace Hari Prasad Das Prabhuji on the topic of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day, Magnanimous, Merciful Mahāprabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Danvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for giving your beautiful time, as valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic on this auspicious day of our dearest Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day. I now hand over call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, please unmute.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhu. We muted all.
Yeah, thank you. My pranams, Mataji. Thank you so much for kindly inviting me here. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Shri Guru Gauranga. And I wish all of you very auspicious Gaura-pūrṇimā. Thank you so much for kindly inviting me here to Bhakti Sanga Japa conference in order to speak something about the magnanimity and merciful nature of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm very thankful to Kirtida Sundari Mataji, Priti Vilasini Mataji, and all the organizers of Bhakti Sanga Japa conference for kindly giving me an opportunity to speak something. Before I begin, I'd like to offer Mangala Charan. Most of us know these verses. You can kindly sing along with me. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupah Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namah. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you once again, dear devotees, for kindly being present here today for this presentation on Magnanimous and Merciful Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Once again, I am thankful to the organizers of Bhakti Sanga Japa conference and to all of you devotees who are kindly present here today to listen to what I have to say. Dear devotees, I am very happy that today is the celebration of the appearance day of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Technically, it begins here tomorrow in India, but the celebration for Mahaprabhu's appearance begins much more earlier in the hearts of the devotees, and therefore all of us are very happy that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the personality who is the sole reason for all of us becoming devotees in the age of Kali Yuga, that personality's appearance day is here, and he is very magnanimous and merciful. But we'll try to have a look into a small glimpse of his magnanimity and his merciful nature. Dear devotees, before I begin, it is Shishta Parampara. It is also a tradition to glorify the audience. And I'd like to offer a verse in glorification of the audience, because Mahaprabhu's appearance is on full moon, Purnima. And I often say this, that the previous sadhus have said that Sri Krishna appears on Ashtami, the 8th day, and Srimati Radharani also appears on Ashtami, that is the 8th day. And their combined form, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, appeared on Ashtami plus Ashtami, which is Purnima, full moon day. And Gadadhar Pandit appeared on no moon day, because Srimati Radharani had given her mood to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on full moon day, and Gadadhar Pandit appeared on no moon day. So the full moon day is going to be here soon, and the sadhus are also like the full moon. Is a very nice verse glorifying all of you sadhus. Nirguneshvapi satveshu dayam kurvanti sadhavah nahi samharate jyotsnam chandras chandala veshmani. Nirguneshu api satveshu dayam kurvanti sadhavah. Sadhavah, sadhus like all of you, dayam kurvanti, show mercy even upon nirguneshu satveshu, upon living entities like myself who are nirguna. Nirguna is devoid of all good qualities. And the example is Nahi samharate jyotsnam chandras chandala veshmani. The moon is equal to everyone. Although one of the names of the moon is Dvijaraj. Dvijaraj means king of the twice born. But when the moon shines, it is not only on the homes of the twice born that the moon shines, but the moon also shines on the homes of the dog eaters. And one of the names of the ray of moon is Kara. Kara means ray of moon. Kara also means hands. So the moon touches the homes of the dog eaters using his Kara, using his hands, using his rays. And in this way, the moon is merciful upon all living entities. So dear devotees, the full moon, just as the full moon is all merciful, similarly, all of you are also all merciful. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared on the full moon, is also all merciful, because his Kara, his rays of magnanimity, his rays of merciful nature, touched even the hearts of the Chandalas, the lowest amongst human beings, the dog eaters. So this is a verse of glorification for all of you, dear devotees. I'd like to begin with a statement by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says, love of God is not an ordinary commodity. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was worshipped by Rupa Goswami because he distributed love of God, Krishna Prem, to everyone. Rupa Goswami praised him as Mahavadanya, a greatly munificent personality, because he was freely distributing to everyone love of Godhead, which is achieved by wise men only after many, many births. Krishna Prema, Krishna consciousness, is the highest gift which can be bestowed on anyone whom we presume to love. So, dear devotees, this is a quote in which Srila Prabhupada is highlighting the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of being magnanimous and merciful. Dear devotees, this magnanimity, this merciful nature of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also expressed in a wonderful verse in the Chaitanya Mata Manjusha commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. This verse is often quoted, and this verse is attributed to Sri Srinath Chakravarti, who is the guru of Sri Kavi Karnapur. This verse is in the meter Shardula Vikriditam. I'll try to sing it, dear devotees. Please hear carefully. Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanayas Tadham Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Ya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumartho Maha Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatradarah Nah Para. So, Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanayas. Our Aradhya, our worshipable Bhagavan is Vrajesh Tanayas, the son of Nanda Maharaj, and Tadhama Vrindavanam. His personal abode is Shri Vrindavan, and that is also most worshipable for us. Ramya Kachid Upasana, and the most sweetest, the most favorable mode of worshipping him is Ya Kalpita, that which was conceived of by, that which was practiced by Vraja Vadhu Vargena, by the hosts of the young ladies of Vraja. And what is the praman, what is the proof of this type of worship? Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the highest praman in this regard. And what is the ultimate goal of life? Prema Pumartho Mahan. Prema, or love of Krishna, is the highest goal of life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam. These are the opinions of Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya. Tatra Adaraha Naha Paraha. Naha, our Adaraha, respect. Tatra, in these opinions, is Paraha, is the highest. So we have the highest regard for these opinions that were given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But dear devotees, in this, the most magnanimous, the most merciful thing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to us is the supreme goal of life, that is prema. Without this goal, dear devotees, our lives would be worthless in many ways, because we would be looking for other goals of life, and those other goals of life would never satisfy us at all. It is only prema that can satisfy us. Other goals of life have no capacity of satisfying us. And we will have a look at the other goals of life and how is it that these other goals of life are incapable of satisfying us. Let's hear a statement by Srila Prabhupada on the 4 goals of life which Shastra has prescribed for everyone. Srila Prabhupada says generally people want dharma, artha, kam, and moksha in that order. First of all, people want to become religious, dharma, in order to attract material opulence, which is artha. And people want material opulence in order to gratify their senses, calm. And when they are frustrated in their attempt to gratify their senses, they want liberation, moksha. In this way, dharma, artha, kam, and moksha are going on. Srila Prabhupada specifies this in the 16th chapter of his book Teachings of Lord Kapila, the son of Devahuti. So here, Srila Prabhupada is specifying the 4 goals of life which are mentioned in Shastra: dharma, artha, kam, and moksha. And he's specifying what is the reason that individuals want these goals of life. If it was not for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all of us would be looking today for one of these 4 goals: dharma, artha, kam, or moksha. And it is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he gave a purpose to our lives. Without him appearing and without him blessing his immediate associates such as Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, it would be impossible for us to understand how prema is the highest goal of life that should be aspired for. Dear devotees, let us have a look at dharma, artha, kama, and moksha in that order the Srila Prabhupada and Shastra specify. First and foremost, dear devotees, the previous authorities have spoken in great detail about the 3 goals of life, the first 3 goals of life: dharma, artha, and kama. Because these 3 goals of life are related to the material world. Moksha is about leaving the material world. Moksha is about giving up material existence. So the first 3 goals of life are very important and have been spoken of in great detail by the previous authorities on this topic. Sri Chanakya Pandit, in his Chanakya Niti Sutras, he says, Sukhasya Moolam Dharmaha. Translation is, the root of all happiness is dharma. It's a very important statement because if we wish to have any sort of material happiness in our lives, we have to engage in what Shastra prescribes as dharma. And this happiness is not only the happiness of living in a big city or the happiness of owning a big car or the happiness of having a big house. This is the happiness of having a complete life, a complete human life. And in order to have that, dear devotees, we need to have dharma supporting us. Those of us who have executed less dharma in previous lifetimes experience lesser degree of happiness in human life. And the greater amount of adharma that we have executed previously, to that degree, we are also experiencing some suffering in our human lives. Sukhasya Moolam. If we want to become happy, dharma. Dharma is the root of all happiness. And then he says, Arthamulau hi dharma kamau iti. But in order to execute dharma nicely, in order to execute Vedic religion nicely, we also need support from Artha. Artha means we also need some financial support. Kama also needs financial support. So the root of all dharma and kama is Artha, the second Purushartha, the second goal of life. One who has good amount of Artha, good amount of wealth, can perform good amount of charitable acts, can perform good amount of Vedic sacrifices, can build immense projects of public benefit, and in this way earn a lot of dharma. So artha is the root of execution of all dharma, Vedic dharma. And for kama, for sense enjoyment also, you need artha, you need economic progress. And therefore, dear devotees, artha mulau hi dharma kama vidi. The root of all dharma and kama is artha. And then he says, parasparasya anupaghatakam. These goals of life should not cause harm to each other. There are some individuals who execute so much dharma that they neglect their artha. They neglect their financial progress, and they neglect their kama. They neglect the fulfillment, the appropriate fulfillment of their material desires. And this is an example of a case when somebody is executing so much dharma that they end up hurting their artha and kama. And then similarly, there may be some people who are so busy in earning wealth that they neglect their dharma. Sometimes they even neglect their kama. And when such situations arise, then that artha, that kama, that dharma which has been neglected, it later causes a lot of difficulty for those individuals who have neglected it on purpose. In the Ramayana, there is a very nice verse regarding this in Sri Valmiki Ramayana. Bhagwan Sri Ram has gone to the forest, and Bharat comes to know that my brother has been sent to the forest and my father has also left this world. So Bharat immediately departs for the forest in order to fetch Sri Ram and to request him to come back and rule over his kingdom. In the forest, when finally Bharat finds Sri Ram, Lakshman and Devi Sita, at that point of time, Sri Ram also looks at Bharat, and Bharat's face is completely dejected because Bharat knows that Maharaj Dashrath has left this world. Seeing the dejected face of Bharat, Bhagwan Sri Ram asks him many questions. And one of the questions is related to neglect of dharma, artha and kama. This is one of the questions that Bhagwan Ram asks directly in the Valmiki Ramayana to Bharat. Kacchidarthena va dharmam artham dharmena va punah ubhau va priti lobhena kamena na vivadhase. Kachid arthena va dharmam. Bharat, are you suppressing your dharma through your artha, which means are you trying to earn wealth so much that you are suppressing your dharma? Or artham dharmena va punah? Or are you suppressing your desire to earn wealth through by your desire of dharma? Or ubhau va priti lobhena kamena? Or are you suppressing both dharma and artha by your excessive desire for kama, sense enjoyment? Bharat, why are you dejected? Because if you will render service to dharma, artha and kama appropriately, then you will not feel dejected. So dear devotees, this is a statement coming directly from Bhagwan Sri Ram, where he is saying that the goals of life should not be neglected like this. Often there are individuals who neglect dharma, artha and kama, and then later in life they realize that I have made a mistake. In the prime of my life, I could not earn wealth. In the prime of my life, I did not enjoy properly. In the prime of my life, I missed an opportunity to execute dharma. And then later they regret and try to make up for it. Therefore, these first three goals of life are extremely important in the lives of all human beings. Because when we are going to see what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to us, we first also need to understand how important are the previous goals, dharma, artha, kama and moksha. And it is very important to have a healthy balance of dharma, artha and kama in one's life. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for a human being to have a peaceful mind. And having a peaceful mind is one of the 64 limbs of bhakti. Dear devotees, therefore, proper execution of dharma, artha and kam, proper execution of one's duties of varnashram gives one that peacefulness of mind, which is a great help on the path of one's bhajan. Although bhajan ultimately is not dependent on any material factors, but these material factors, if executed properly, give one a lot of strength on the path. But these three goals, dear devotees, are fully transactional. Dharma is fully transactional. Artha, of course, is the currency of all transactions. And Kama is also transactional. Let's look at Dharma. And I would like to invite a definition of Dharma. Priti Vilasini Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, can you kindly give a definition of Dharma?
Intrinsic property.
Intrinsic property, all right. Any other definition that you have heard?
One's religious duties, that is occupational duties.
One's religious and occupational duties. Wonderful. These are commonly known definitions of Dharma. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a direct definition of Dharma, and this occurs in the episode of Ajamil, the Vishnu Dutas and the Yamadutas. Because the Yamadutas are taking away Ajamil, and the Vishnu Dutas come and stop them. And then the Yamadutas say, well, he has committed adharma. And then the Yamadutas say he has committed adharma, we are taking him. So the Vishnu Dutas ask them, what is dharma? And the Yamadutas say, Veda pranihito dharmo yadharmas tadviparyayah. Veda pranihito dharmo. One line definition. That which is prescribed in the Vedas is dharma. And definitely that is dharma. Adharmas tadviparyayah. And adharma is the opposite of that. So dear devotees, whatever is given in the Vedas is dharma, a direct statement from the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Yamadutas have heard from Sri Yamaraj, and Sri Yamaraj is a Mahajan. So this is a statement coming from the authority of a Mahajan, that a statement given in the Veda, that which is prescribed in the Veda, is dharma. And if we look into the entirety of Vedas, if we look through the Vedas, there is one constant theme in the Vedas. Priti Vilasini Mataji, once again, what is that one constant theme that you find almost on every page of the Veda?
To follow dharma?
Follow dharma, okay. But which dharma?
We should follow Sanatana Dharma, which is the eternal principle of being the servant of the Lord. But there is also in the Vedas a lot about Swadharma, according to one's Varna and Ashram.
All right. So, Swadharma, Varnashram Dharma. But literally, if we read from page to page, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, Atharva Veda, Mataji, we will find many mantras. And what is the purpose? What is the main purpose of these mantras? What will these mantras be used in?
Karma Kanda means to satisfy one's desire generally. And procedural rules, sorry.
Yeah. So these will be used mainly for yajna. Do you agree?
So, definitely.
So yajna is the focal point of all the Vedas. The four Vedas are centered around yajna. And why perform yajna? So the Shastra says, Svarga Kamu Yajeta. Perform yajna so that you can attain Swarga. And after attaining Swarga, you will be happy. Therefore, perform yajna. Swarga kamo yajeta. Person desirous of attaining Swarga should perform yajna. And dear devotees, therefore, this whole dharma which is given in the Vedas becomes fully transactional. In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna tells this to Arjun. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vah parasparam bhavayantah shreyah paramavapsyatha. Devan bhavayatanena. The Devdas being pleased by yajna, by the sacrifices, will also please you. So he's saying to Arjun, Arjun, you please the Devas by the sacrifice, and te deva bhavayantu vaha. And in return, the Devtas will also please you. Parasparam bhavayantah. In this way, mutually pleasing each other, mutually satisfying each other. Shreyah paramavapsitha. You will have prosperity for everyone. So, Priti Vilasini Mataji, does this sound unconditional or transactional?
Transactional.
This is very transactional. So, you satisfy the Devtas and Devtas will satisfy you. And Mataji, if I don't satisfy the Devtas, then?
My desire will not be fulfilled.
So, Mataji, did we come to the world in order to enter into such business transactions, or did we want something which will benefit us unconditionally?
We want something unconditional. Yes.
Something unconditional. But the
Yes.
whole point of dharma is transactional. You give something, you receive something. If you want happiness, then perform good karma. And for good karma, you have to execute dharma. What is dharma? That is which is given in the Vedas. What do the Vedas say? Perform sacrifice. But what is sacrifice? Pleasing the Devatas. If I don't please the Devatas, then, oh, well, you can't get dharma, you can't get happiness, you can't achieve the first goal of life. Oh my goodness. So this, although it is a very high goal of life, dharma, but it is fully transactional in nature. Dear devotees, next comes artha. And artha is economic progress. And Priti Vilasini Mataji, can artha be without transactions?
No.
Not at all. Artha is the currency of transactions. The currency of all transactions is artha, and therefore, if I earn any artha, if I earn any wealth in this life, then I will have to make sure that I use it for proper transactions, otherwise it will harm my dharma. Sri Shukracharya says to Bali Maharaj, because Bali Maharaj is about to donate everything to Sri Vishnu, and Shukracharya is giving him his final warnings before he gives everything to Sri Vishnu. Dharmaya yashasirthaya kamaya svajanaya cha panchatha vibhajan vittam ihamutra cha modate. He's saying, therefore, one who is in full knowledge, O Bali Maharaj, should divide his accumulated wealth in 5 parts. Bali Maharaj, 1/5 should be given for dharmaya, for dharma. So this Vishnu has come, he's asking for some charity, and that is dharma. Wonderful. Give 1/5, don't give everything. Then yasha say, 1/5 should be given for yasha, for reputation. People should remember after you who Bali was. Otherwise, people will forget who you are, who you were, and then there will be no mention of you in the pages of history. Then arthaya, 1/5 should be investment for increasing your wealth. Kamaya, 1/5 should be for your sense gratification, for your own sense gratification. And svajanaya cha, and remaining 1/5 should be for the maintenance of the family. So panchadha vibhajan, while dividing your wealth in these 5 ways, iha amutra cha modate, iha modate, amutra cha modate. In this world you will be happy, and in the next world you will be happy. But Bali Maharaj didn't listen. But in any case, Priti Vilasini Mataji, Does this sound unconditional or transactional?
This sounds transactional only.
Yes, because unless you give 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, then we will end up like Avanti Brahmana, who did not give any one of these their share. And we know what happened to the Avanti Brahmana, Priti Vilasini Mataji. What happened to him?
He was very upset with whatever his life, however it went, and he was not at all happy. Yeah.
Not at all happy. He lost everything. All the wealth was taken away because he refused to engage in proper transactions. So anybody who refuses to engage in proper transactions with others will lose their wealth to that degree. In this way, their devotees' wealth, artha, is the very currency of transactions. Next, dear devotees, we have high hopes that kama will be non-transactional. But Mataji, kama, which means desire to please oneself and desire to please others, is kama in this world unconditional or transactional?
100% transactional.
100% transactional. Wonderful. And dear devotees, kama is also 100% transactional. In the Brihadaranya Upanishad, there is a discussion between the great Brahmavadi sage Yajnavalkya and his Brahmavadini wife Maitreyi. And both of them are discussing, and Yajnavalkya tells a secret to his wife. What does he say? Navare patyuh kamaya patih priyo bhavati atmanastu kamaya patih priyo bhavati. Are, he says, Are, oh listen. Nava patyuh kamaya patih priyo bhavati. The husband is not dear. It is not for the husband's pleasure that the wife loves the husband. Atmanastu kamaya patih priyo bhavati. But it is for the pleasure of her own self that the wife loves the husband. Now, some of you may feel that this needs more explanation. So, dear devotees, Yajnavalkya immediately continues. Navare jayaya kamaya jaya priya bhavati atmanastu kamaya jaya priya bhavati. Similarly, the husband doesn't love the wife because he loves the wife. The husband loves the wife because he loves himself. So this is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Further he says, Navare sarvasya kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Maitreyi, it is not for the sake of everything that everything is loved. Even non-living things sometimes we love, but it is not for their sake. We love non-living things because we love ourselves. Now, I'll ask a question, Priti Vilasini Mataji. Please give me an answer. Suppose I purchase a brand new car, sparkling, shining new car, the latest and the greatest, the best car. And every day I am cleaning the car, spick and span, and maintaining it nicely. So, Mataji, is the car a living object or dead object?
Dead object.
And is the car asking me every day that please clean me?
No.
For whose pleasure am I cleaning the car?
For my own pleasure.
So, although the car is not asking me to show any love, but I am showing immense love towards the car. Because, Mataji, I know if something happens to the car, something wrong happens with the car, will the car suffer or will I suffer, Mataji?
I will suffer. My image will suffer.
What do I love the most, the car or myself?
Myself.
And therefore, I take care of the car.
Mm.
And dear devotees, this is why all relationships in the world which are based on love, calm, are moving ahead. Why do we love the other person? Because if we stop loving the other person, then the other person will be unhappy. And Mataji, if the other person is unhappy, then who will be unhappy?
I will only be unhappy.
And do I want to be unhappy?
No, I want to be happy all the time.
For my own happiness, I express my love to all my relatives, to my wife, or a wife expresses it to her husband, and even to non-living entities. So, Priti Vilasini Mataji, please tell me, is calm transactional or non-transactional?
Transactional.
It's fully transactional. Mataji, is it easy to find somebody who will say to us that you don't worry about pleasing me, I will please you? Can we find
No.
such a person? We don't find. Even in the relationship, which is considered as the most sacred in the world, the relationship between parent and children.
Yeah.
Mataji, is it often unconditional, or often it even that relationship is conditional?
It is conditional, I've seen. Yes.
Yes, it is conditional. So dear devotees, in this way, dharma, artha, kama are all transactional in nature. Now we have great hopes pinned over the fourth one, which will help us come out of the world. And Mataji, moksha should remain unconditional, isn't it?
It should, but I don't know now.
It should. You have hope. But it seems that there are some doubts that moksha may not be free of transactions after all. And we had great hopes with moksha, dear devotees, but moksha also ultimately ends up being very transactional in nature. There is a verse in the Gita which speaks directly about moksha, and this is the verse which we have heard so often. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. Priti Vilasini Mataji, can you please give a rough translation of this verse?
Abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me. I will deliver you of all fears. I will deliver you of everything. Do not worry. Mashucha here. And I'll
And if I,
liberate you.
and if I don't abandon all varieties of religion?
Then I don't know. You have to surrender unto me and abandon everything. Then only I will take care.
If I don't do that, then
Then
you won't give me moksha, Bhagavan?
it depends on the mood of Bhagavan. Krishna always asks, demands surrender. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mataji, how does this sound? Transactional or non-transactional?
It sounds transactional because he's asking for something. Do this, then I will do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Do this and then I will deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. He's saying do not fear because he knows he has a reputation of lying since childhood. So he has to assure, do not fear. I'll not cheat you. But sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Give up all varieties of religion and come to me. Mataji, which devotees are the prime example of this particular verse? Can you please tell me?
Draupadi surrendered, Gajendra surrendered, then
Okay.
Vibhishan surrendered.
But Draupadi still was, she did not surrender her name, fame, and family reputation. There are some devotees who surrendered everything.
Bali.
Kunti Maharani.
Bali Maharaj.
Kunti Maharani also, all of them kept their royal status, but the gopis gave up their good name and their good families for Bhagwan, isn't it?
Yeah.
They gave up their lok dharma.
Mm.
They gave up everything for the sake of Bhagwan. In the middle of the night, the gopis came to the shelter of Bhagwan. And Mataji, what was the first thing that Bhagwan told them?
He said, go back.
Go back. So where is they fulfilled their condition, and where is Bhagwan's fulfillment? And it is known, therefore Bhagavan says, although Bhagavan is saying, do not fear, I am very much afraid. Because I've heard in history that there were a set of devotees who did Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Literally, they gave up their Loka Dharma, their Kula Dharma, and they surrendered to Bhagavan. Mam Ekam, this Mam Ekam. Draupadi first surrendered to many other authorities before she surrendered to Bhagavan. But Gopis directly, without surrendering to any other authority, Mam Ekam, they had no other personality to whom they would surrender. And the first thing he says is, instead of liberating them from their samsar, he tells them, go back to your samsar. Samsar has two meanings, material world and family life. So instead of liberating them from material world, he says, go back to your samsar, go back to your family life. So how will you liberate as Bhagavan if you are not keeping up your word? And in any case, even if you would keep your word, it is fully transactional in nature. And Priti Vilasini Mataji, does this verse speak of unconditional benefit or conditional benefit?
Conditional.
And what does our heart want?
Unconditional.
Unconditional benefit. Therefore, dear devotees, it is very important to note what is the importance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's contribution in our lives. Is that he asked us to rise above these four, to give up hopes on these four, because these four will never satisfy the living entity, because the living entity can never be satisfied with any sort of transactional dharma. The Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas therefore say, पृथ्वीते यार किछु धर्म नामे चले भागवत कहे ताहा परिपूर्ण छले. Whatever goes on in the world in the name of dharma, the Srimad Bhagavatam declares it to be outright cheating, 100% cheating. You go to a particular deity and you ask for forgiveness of sins, and in exchange of your submission, the deity forgives your sins. You go to a particular deity and ask for some material desires, and the deity gives you the fulfillment of those desires. And all of this transactional nature has been going on since beginningless time for the conditioned living entity. The conditioned living entity is looking very hard to find somebody who will say, my dear living entity, please, I will give you all benefit. You don't need to do anything at all. For this reason, dear devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance is very, very special. Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita in Dwapar Yuga approximately 5000 years ago, and he said Sarva Dharman Parityaja, and that was the highlight of his speech in the Bhagavad Gita. Man mana bhav mad bhakto and Sarva Dharman Parityaja. And when he said Sarva Dharman Parityaja, the Gita was at its ending point. And after he spoke the Gita, Priti Vilasini Mataji, after he spoke the Gita, how many people in Dwapar Yuga became devotees?
Not many. We don't have a proper record.
You don't have a record. Because so many terms and conditions. Mataji, in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, there are so many terms and conditions placed upon being a devotee. Can you rephrase some of the terms and conditions that you know from the 12th chapter, that who is a good devotee?
One who is clean, truthful, who is
Who's equal in profit and loss, who is kind to other living entities, so many conditions. Such a devotee is dear to me. And after reading so many pages of terms and conditions, people become a little confused. Will I be able to live up to all these standards that Bhagavan has set in the Gita? And Mataji, compare that to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Bhagavan takes on the mood of Sri Radha, and Sri Radha's mood is no conditions. The only condition for becoming a devotee Mataji, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking everybody, including yourself, Mataji,
Mm.
can you Hare Krishna once?
Hare Krishna.
Now you are a devotee, isn't it?
Yes.
Did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu give all these things that Krishna has given in the Gita?
No.
When Krishna comes in Krishna's mood, Krishna is super transactional. But when Krishna comes in Sri Radha's mood, he
Mm.
drops all the transactional nature and he becomes completely non-transactional and unconditional. But then why even ask for chanting Hare Krishna once? The question may arise. At least some token has, just as a small token, can you chant Hare Krishna once?
Hare Krishna.
So that the other living entities in the other ages should not complain that why, you did not take anything from them and you just gave them the highest benefit. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, well, I took something from them. I took one utterance of Hare Krishna from them. So, in this way, Bhagavan is very transactional in nature. He says in the Gita, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. As a person surrenders unto me, I reciprocate accordingly. Bhagavan, that is wonderful if you are looking to start a business. I am not here looking to have a business transaction with you. Therefore, Bhagavan, I will have lesser faith in that statement of yours. I don't wish to have any business transaction with you. Dear devotees, Shri Vyasadeva, after compiling the 4 Vedas, after compiling the entire Mahabharata, the Vedanta Sutra, etc., Shri Vyasadeva was unhappy. Priti Vilasini Mataji, Shri Vyasadeva was unhappy and somebody came to resolve his unhappiness. Who came to resolve his unhappiness? Shri Narad
Narada.
Muni. Shri Narad Muni came to resolve. And Shri Narad Muni, when he came to Shri Vyasadeva, he asked a rhetorical question. He said, Dear Vyasadeva, are you happy? Of course, he knows he's not happy. But this is how Shri Narad Muni asked. Shri Vyasadeva, are you happy? Are you happy by giving transactional dharma in the various Puranas and in the Vedas and in the Dharma Shastras and Upanishads and Mahabharata? Are you happy now, Vyasadeva? And Priti Vilasini Mataji, what was Sri Vyasadev's answer? Yes or no?
No, he was not happy.
So Mataji, if the author is not happy, what will be the condition of the readers?
Terrible.
Terrible. And therefore Narad Muni, in a very soft way, chastised and said, you have put them on that path which will further their material existence. Why did you do this? Oh, well, Narad Muni, Guru Maharaj, the world is like this. Of course, the world is like that. But Yena Atma Samprasidati, the Srimad Bhagavatam says, which dharma will truly satisfy the soul? Conditional or unconditional, Sri Vyasadeva? Why did you not, put this into consideration? Are you happy now, satisfying the mind and the body? Sri Vyasadeva said, no, I'm not happy. So when you are not happy, what will be of your readers? Sri Vyasadeva, now please write one final literature in which you will reject all these other goals of life and you will finally write something which will make the living entity happy. Yena Atma Samprasidati, Suprasidati, which will make the Atma very happy. And therefore, Sri Vyasadeva wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam, and in the second verse, he rejected these transactional goals of life. The second verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Dharma projita kaitavotra parama. The highest dharma. Where is highest given? The final word is paramaha. Paramaha is adjective of dharma. Paramaha dharma, the highest dharma. But what is the type of dharma? Projita kaitava, which is devoid of any cheating propensity, is atra, is presented here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Commenting upon this, the original Sanskrit commentator Srila Sridhar Swami says something. Pra shabdena moksha abhisandhirapi nirastah. In projita, there is pra prefix. The prefix pra indicates that very nicely all cheating has been rejected, including moksha abhisandhi. The desire to achieve moksha is also rejected. Priti Vilasini Mataji, I would like to ask you to say something after me. And, those devotees who are muted, you also please speak after me. Mataji, are you willing to take the oath of Srimad Bhagavatam?
Yes.
All right, Mataji. Since you have said yes, and I assume everybody else is also saying yes, so please repeat after me, Mataji. I hereby declare that I do not want any transactional dharma,
Wow. Okay.
including moksha.
Including moksha.
This means that
Which means that
I do not
I do not
want to go back home, back to Godhead.
want to go home back to Godhead.
Oh my goodness, Mataji, there is visible distress in your voice.
Yes, Prabhu, definitely. I want to go back.
Why?
I don't know. I don't like things here.
Oh, so ultimately it comes about your liking and disliking, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhu, definitely.
So where is the prema in that?
No prem.
In this world, when we say that we love a particular person, in this world, love is another word for ownership. When we say we love somebody, we actually want ownership of that particular person. But
True.
Mataji, is true love about ownership or is true love about making the other person happy?
True love is making the other person happy.
If we love Krishna, what should we be asking from Krishna?
Nothing. We want to make Krishna happy. Yeah.
We want to make Krishna happy. Instead, what are we asking Krishna?
To make us happy.
So where is the prema in that?
No prema.
There's no prema in that. And Mataji, Krishna came in Kali Yuga and Krishna from his own side dropped all the transactions and said, here I am, please accept this. Now, when Krishna dropped all transactions from his side, what should be our duty?
We should also learn to give up our transactions.
Also learn to give up. And the day we learn to do that is the day we will truly have become a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Is the day that we would have understood what Mahaprabhu was here to tell us. Because to give up the desire for moksha is a big relief for the living entity who is trying to progress on the path of Krishna Bhakti. Big relief. Although it is very difficult, it springs up again and again. But having given it up once, it is big relief. Why so? Sri Rupa Goswami says, there are two witches sitting on the heart. And what are these two witches? Sri Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhukti Mukti Sprihayavat Pishachi Hridivartate Tavad Bhakti Sukhasyatra Katham Abhyudayo Bhavet. Bhukti Mukti Spriha. Spriha is desire, intense desire for two things. First is Bhukti Spriha, intense desire for material enjoyment. This Bhukti Spriha is also like a Pishachi, is like a ghost. And second is Mukti Spriha, the desire to get liberated and go back home, back to Godhead. If this desire is prominent, then it is also like a Pishachi, is like a ghost. Hridi Vartate. And Mataji, what happens when a ghost takes over the heart of a person? Can that person become happy? So,
Always possessed.
yes, always possessed. Tavat, as long as these two ghosts are ruling over the heart of a sadhaka, bhakti sukhasya abhyudaya katham bhavet, how will the sunrise of the happiness of bhakti ever appear? Rhetorical question. Sri Rupa Goswami is saying never it will happen that the true happiness of bhakti will appear in the heart of such a person. So as long as the witch-like desires for bhukti, material pleasures, and mukti, liberation, have their grips over the heart of a sadhak, how can the true happiness of bhakti ever make an appearance there? So Mataji, this is a problem with me. I'm speaking for myself. Every day I am trying to wake up early in the morning because I have one fear, Mataji, that if I don't wake up early in the morning, then something will happen. And what will happen? I will not be able to go back home, back to Godhead. And out of that fear, Mataji, I am waking up early in the morning for Mangal Arti. Does that sound good?
Very bad.
Oh, Mataji, I'm also chanting my 16 rounds very diligently, ensuring that I do not sleep in between. I'm trying very hard. Because if I know that if I don't chant nicely, then I'll not be able to go back home, back to Godhead. How does that sound?
It sounds bad.
And Mataji, if I take a vow that, Bhagavan, I don't want to go back home, back to Godhead, and then what motivation will remain in me for waking up early and chanting my rounds?
Maybe we should have a different goal.
Of course, we should have. But then when I wake up early in the morning and I'm telling myself, hey, you don't have the desire to go back home, back to Godhead. Why did you wake up at 3:30? What answer should I give my mind, Mataji?
Maybe I want something else. Maybe I want love of God.
Well, if that is the case, then love of God is also available here in the material world and you can stay here in the material world. Mataji, does that sound okay?
Yes, it does.
So you're willing to stay in the material world if love of God comes to you?
I have to train my mind. I'm not ready yet, actually.
Sorry, I'm asking you all the difficult questions today, but through you, I'm asking everybody. Everybody should ask their minds.
Yes.
If it would be a live class, I would ask people to raise their hands, but here on Zoom, it will be a big mess if everybody starts speaking simultaneously.
Yes. But yes, Prabhu, it's a big shift of consciousness that I should get. Yes.
Because till today, I have been living for my own happiness and going back to Godhead is my permanent ticket to Disneyland, Mataji.
Mm.
Will I give up that ticket so easily?
I won't. I am very selfish. I won't. Yeah.
So, but till that time, Atma Suprasid, till that time, we cannot truly be happy because as long as the witch-like desire is over our heart, you can see how a haunted person looks.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Al-
That's
al- Always on their heart is that constant fear. Oh, if I don't do this, I will. For one mistake, Bhagwan will kill my chances of going back home, back to Godhead.
Oh, Krishna.
Bhagwan is the policeman in the sky who's waiting with his stick to hit me in the head as soon as I make a single mistake. That's the Bhagwan I am loving, isn't it, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Then what about Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu? That's only within the prayers. But in reality, my mind says if I break a single condition, oh, then Sarva Dharman is not complete and Bhagwan will withdraw his opportunity of taking me back to Godhead and my business deal with Bhagwan will be cancelled. That's what I came to the devotee society for. I made a business deal with Bhagwan. Bhagwan, I'll give you one life. That's what, you were told, right? Give one life to Krishna and Krishna will take you back home, back to Godhead.
Mm.
So I've done my part of the business deal, Bhagwan. I gave you one life. But Bhagwan is saying, well, this life is not a very quality life. So rejected. Oh my goodness, Bhagwan, please don't do that. I don't want the business deal to be rejected. So as long as, Sri Rupa Goswami says, as long as the devotee is executing bhakti with this frame of mind, there is no possibility of happiness. Bhagavan has come after dropping all conditions. We should also drop all conditions, and we should have the maturity to say, Bhagavan, I do not want anything from you. But there's one thing I want from you. And that one thing is, can you give me your prema? Because your prema is the only thing which is for your happiness and not for my happiness. So my selfishness, Bhagavan, is in asking for your happiness. Can you give your prema to me? How does that sound, Mataji?
It sounds beautiful, yeah.
And what is the goal that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bought?
Prema.
Prema. This is the reason why Sri Radha's mood stands above the mood of everybody else. This is the mood that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bought for all of us. This is the purpose of our existence. He gave that purpose to our existence. That we do not fear birth or death, and we do not fear taking another birth in the world. But Bhagavan, we fear one thing. We fear forgetting you. We fear not having your prema. And our fear is that if we don't have your prema, we will not be able to please you. We will instead start pleasing other entities who are not worthy of pleasing. Bhagavan, please fulfill one desire. Please give me your prema. And there is that statement in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna prema vina vyartha daridra jivan, Dāsa kari vetan more deha prema dhan. Bhagavan, life is worthless without prema. Make me your servant and give me your prema. That is the only thing I am asking for. So dear devotees, this is the mood that Mahaprabhu bought. Sri Rupa Goswami therefore said in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Tvat kathamrata pathodhau viharanto mahamudah kurvanti kritanah kechit chaturvargam trinopamam. Always swimming in the ocean of your katha, of your talks. These extremely intelligent, joyous souls, the followers of Mahaprabhu, consider the four goals of life to be as insignificant as a blade of grass. And Priti Vilasi Mataji, four goals of life includes moksha and going back to Godhead, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhu.
So, we are supposed to consider them insignificant. But do most of us consider moksha as insignificant?
Honestly, not me.
Likewise, I am on the same page. But one of the 6 characteristics of Uttama Bhakti is moksha laghutakrit. It trivializes moksha. But when will it how will it trivialize moksha if every day we are asking Bhagavan to take us back home, back to Godhead? So therefore, dear devotees, it's very important to understand that the Srimad Bhagavatam begins where the Bhagavad Gita ends. And we may have learnt many concepts in the Bhagavad Gita, but many of them, almost all of it was transactional. And therefore, even Sri Vyasadeva was not happy after compiling Bhagavan's own words in the Mahabharata. And therefore, Sri Vyasadeva had to compose Srimad Bhagavatam in order to give complete satisfaction to the living entities. And therefore, dear devotees, when we begin with Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to unlearn some of the concepts of the Gita. Just as when a particular student goes to a college, he has to learn a few new concepts and unlearn a few older concepts which were taught in a basic way to him. Similarly, when we go from Bhagavad Gita to Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll have to unlearn certain concepts of the Gita. We cannot take that transactional nature of the Gita into Srimad Bhagavatam and expect to get the result of Srimad. So this, dear devotees, is the shift that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought in the consciousness of his followers. And it's not that we fully reject moksha. We are not rejecting anything. but our first priority is to get something before we get moksha. Sri Rupa Goswami says, Atra tyajya tayayivokta muktihi panchavidhapi ched salokyaristathaapyatra bhaktya nati virudhyate. Atra tyajyataya eva ukta. Atra, in this literature, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Sri Rupa Goswami is saying, I heard from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told me everything. So what he told me, Tyajyataya eva ukta, that you should completely give up. What should you completely give up? Muktihi panchavidha, liberation of 5 types. Salokya, Sarishti, Samukya, Sarupya, Salokya, Sayujya. Give up 5 types of liberation. But amongst these 5, the 4 Vaishnav liberations, 4 personal liberations, Salokyadis tathapyatra bhaktya na ati viruddhyate. These 4 are not very unfavorable to bhakti. Priti Vilasini Mataji, can you see the attitude of Sri Rupa Goswami? These 4 are not very unfavorable to bhakti.
That's comforting, Prabhu.
Right? But can you see the attitude that he is showing towards mukti?
Yes.
Most of us behave as if mukti will take our interview and select us. Sri Rupa Goswami behaves as if he will interview mukti and select her.
Haribol.
Salokya, these 4 types of liberation are sitting in front of me. I feel bhaktya na ati virudhyate. They are not very, antagonistic to bhakti. Which means that what Sri Rupa Goswami is saying here, although all 5 types of liberation are spoken of as being worthy of rejection, all 5. Some people may think, no, only Sayujya is to be rejected. No, dear devotees. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu directly says all 5 types of liberation are spoken as being worthy of rejection in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Still, the 4 Vaishnav liberations, 4 personal liberations are not very unfavorable towards bhakti, which means the indication of the verse is that if these 4 types of liberation are helpful in advancement of Krishna Prem, then we may optionally consider them. How does that sound, Mataji?
Big relief, Prabhu.
Big relief. We have switched tables. Mukti is on the side of giving the interview and we are on the side of taking the interview. Now it's a big relief, Mataji. Tomorrow morning when I wake up at 3:30, my mind asks me, why did you wake up at this, this particular time when everybody else is asleep? And I can tell something to my mind. It is not for going back home, back to Godhead. It is for chanting my rounds in such a way that will give pleasure to Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Srimati Radharani. And that is the motivation with which I will execute my bhakti. Because that is what Mahaprabhu came to give. Give me and give to the entire world. And Mataji, this particular attitude will also help us conquer Shri Krishna. Because one of the 6 qualities, the final quality of Shri Krishna Bhakti is Shri Krishna Akarshini. She attracts and conquers Shri Krishna. Because Mataji, Krishna has a big ego in the Gita. And the big ego is Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. As you surrender unto me, I will reciprocate accordingly. So Mataji, can you see Bhagwan's ego there in that statement?
Yeah, very egoistic.
Right. So Mataji, tomorrow Bhagwan is going to come in front of you some particular day. And Bhagwan is going to ask you one question. That I am very happy with your seva. What do you want in return? Please tell me. And Mataji, what reply will you give?
Love of God. I should train myself before I say that, but I understand from the class that I should ask him. I should ask him, love for him.
Nana, ask something for yourself.
For myself, yeah, eternally be with him.
It's all right, but something for your pleasure. Mataji, ask. Bhagwan will say repeatedly because Bhagwan's ego, is asking, is saying that you have served me, so I have to give you equal amount back. And if the devotee ends up saying, Bhagwan, I don't want anything from you, then what will happen to that big statement of the Bhagavad Gita?
He'll be in a spot.
That is what bhakti teaches us. Tomorrow, Mataji, when Bhagwan comes in front of us and says, what do you want? I want nothing, Bhagwan. I want nothing. Can you please tell me how to love you, Bhagwan? So, Mataji, can Bhagwan repay this sort of prema?
No, he can't.
He can't. Of course, he cannot. And that is why, actually, Bhagwan becomes indebted because of bhakti, because of prema. And prema is the only thing which puts Bhagwan in a debt which he cannot repay. And therefore he said to the gopis, Na parayeham, I cannot repay you because you don't want to ask anything from me. And this is what Bhagwan is also looking for. Bhagwan is Prem Bhikshu. He is also Prem Bhikari. He is also a beggar of prema. And dear devotees, the living entities have the capacity to give that prema to Bhagwan. And that is the happiness of the living entities. Prema, true love, is in sacrifice. Sacrificing everything that one has for the person whom one loves. That is prema. Everything else is transaction. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us this. And therefore, he gave a purpose to our lives which was never given before in any particular literature. He is the personification of Srimad Bhagavatam for us. It is he who showed in his life how to live the words of Srimad Bhagavatam. Dear devotees, Srila Prabhupada also confirms this. Mataji, can you read what Srila Prabhupada says?
A devotee, he does not aspire after going back to home, back to Godhead. No, any place, it doesn't matter. He wants to simply glorify the Supreme Lord. That is his business. It is not the business of the bhakta that he is chanting and dancing and executing devotional service for going to Vaikuntha or Goloka Vrindavan. That is Krishna's desire. If he likes, he will take me. Talk on Chaitanya Charitamrita, 13th March, same day, 1974.
13 March, Mataji, isn't it coincidental? On this day, Srila Prabhupada, of all the days in the year, on this particular day, because so many devotees have this doubt, Prabhupada told us we have to go back to Godhead. Prabhupada told us we have to go back to Godhead. Of course, Prabhupada told us we have to go back home, back to Godhead. But that understanding is the same understanding that is given in the Gita. But the understanding which is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam is also given by Srila Prabhupada, and he speaks it here, that devotee does not aspire after going back home, back to Godhead. Any place, it doesn't matter. Bhagavan, let your prem reside within my mind. Let bhakti ras flow within my heart. Any place is all right. No problem. Shift of place is not that important for me as much as the flow of your prema, flow of that bhakti ras. That is very important for me. Because now I understood, finally, after so many lifetimes, I understood by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that actually my purushartha, my achievable goal of life is to exhaust myself fully in order to please you, in order to give you happiness. That is my purpose of life. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught me this. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taught by his own guru, Sri Ishwar Puri. I will end with a particular verse of Sri Ishwar Puri, which is a very sweet verse. This verse is in the Padyavali, in the meter Shardula Vikriditam. I'll sing this verse, dear devotees. Please hear carefully what the guru of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. Yoga Shrutyupapatti Nirjana Vana Dhyanadva Sambhavita Swarajyam Pratipadya Nirbhayamami Mukta Bhavantu Dvija Asmakam tu Kadamba Kunja Kuhara Pronmilarindivara Shreni Shyamal Dhama Nama Jushatam Janmastu Lakshavadhi. The devotee Sri Ishwar Puri was always traveling from one place to another place. Sannyasi, he will not stay in one place. Constant travel. One fine day, he ended up in Varanasi, Kashi. Kashi, Moksha Pradaini Nagari, is the kingdom of moksha. Anyone who dies in Kashi, Bhagwan Shiva utters a mantra in their ears for liberating them. Kashi Maran, death in Kashi, is considered to be the success of human form of life. Sri Ishwar Puri is in Kashi and somebody asked him, have you come here to die, to give up your life? Sri Ishwar Puri says, no, I am just a visitor from here. I will be going to Vrindavan. But why Vrindavan? Here in Kashi, you have all the experts. You have people who have studied Vedanta, Veda, who have studied Ashtanga Yoga. You can go and learn from them and achieve perfection in life, Ishwar Puri. Why are you leaving Kashi? So Sri Ishwar Puri's reply, Yoga, there is Ashtanga Yoga here, definitely. Shrutyupapatti, there is study of Shruti, study of Vedas. Nirjana Vana Dhyan, and there is meditation in a solitary forest. Adhva, there is pilgrimage to various places in Kashi. Sambhavita, it is definitely possible that by doing all this, Swarajya Pratipadya Nirbhayamami, that those people who do all of these will enter into Swarajya, will enter into the kingdom of liberation. Nirbhayamami will become fearless. Mukta Bhavantu Dvija, let all of those twice born people who execute all these paths here in Kashi become liberated. I don't care. What do you want, Sri Ishwar Puri? Asmakam tu, for me, however, Kadamba Kunja Kuhara, in that Vrindavan, there is Kadamba Kunja Kuhara. There is that thick cluster of Kadamba trees. Pronmiladindivara, from that thick cluster of Kadamba trees, there is one bluish, lotus-like personality dazzling. His lavanya, his radiant beauty is coming out. He doesn't name that person dear devotees because near and dear people, their name should be kept secret. Shreni Shyamal Dhama, and he is an abode of dark bluish beauty. So what do you want from that person? Naam Jushatam, Jushatam, in Hindi we say chuste hue. Tasting his name, relishing his name. Janmastu Lakshavadhi, may I spend millions of lives in this world tasting his names. I don't want anything else. This is the mood of Sri Ishwar Puri that was instilled in the entire parampara through the agency of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let the twice born become liberated through Ashtanga Yoga, study of the Vedas, solitary meditations in the forest, or arduous pilgrimages. Let them realize their fearless liberated nature in this way. As for us, all we seek is to relish over millions of lives the name of that personality who embodies the dark splendor of the multitudes of blue lotuses blooming in the enclosures of thick bowers of Kadamba trees. This, dear devotees, is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. This is munificent. This is magnanimous, merciful. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift to all of us. With that, dear devotees, I'll pause my speech. Thank you very much. Yadatra skhalitam kinchit vidvam saha purayantu tat. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit tad guroreva me nahi. Yadatra skhalitam kinchit. It's possible that I might have made a mistake in speaking something. Vidvam saha, your learned devotees, purayantu tat. Please correct any mistakes. But yadatra saushthavam kinchit. If there's anything you found nice, please remember tad guroreva. It belongs to Guru Janas. Ultimately, it belongs to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Me nahi. It doesn't belong to me. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Jagat Guru.
Sorry, you have to unmute again.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Such a beautiful session. I learned so much today, and I now understand the true magnanimity that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has displayed and the gift that he has given us. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Very grateful. And we have lots of questions, raised hands. I will hand over to Kirtida Mataji from here. Mataji, take over.
Thank you so much, Preeti Lasni Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the excellent session. We have already always heard that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Dayanidhi. But today, by your talk, we really understood what does it mean, Dayanidhi. So thank you, Prabhuji, for the very, very excellent session and opening our eyes and understanding the true mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So yes, thank you. Dear devotees, we will be taking questions as per the hand raise, but I still request everyone that Prabhuji is giving his valuable time and it's already night in India. So please stick to today's class, keep your questions short so that Prabhu can answer nicely. Thank you so much. So we will start with Gaurangi Mataji. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Wow, I really wish I could just memorize every word of this lecture and just every day have it part of my consciousness. But there was one part that I wasn't able to follow properly. It was while you were talking about the 5 kinds of liberation and the fact that they are not totally antagonistic to pure bhakti. And while you were discussing that part, it's because there's a word that you kept saying that I couldn't catch that made the meaning become escaped from me, and you asked Preeti Vilasini Mataji a question about that part, and she said, "Oh, good, what a relief," So I don't know if you can help me.
Yeah. So what I was saying there was that usually it is we who are as if we are giving an interview to liberation and we are giving our application saying that please accept us. But Sri Rupa Goswami turned the tables and instead it is he who is saying, I will decide whether I want liberation or not. So Priti Vilasini Mataji said that's a very big relief because all the time we were thinking that, we have to pass the test of mukti, but ultimately Sri Rupa Goswami tells us that mukti has to pass our test. And what is that test? That test is given in Srimad Bhagavatam 3:29-13. All 5 types of liberation are mentioned. Salokya sarshti samipya sarupya aikatvam apyuta diyamanam nah grihnanti vina mat sevanam janaha. These are the 5 types of liberation: Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, Sarupya, Ekatvam api. These 5. Diyamanam, even if given, na, they do not, Grihnanti, they do not accept, devotees do not accept, Vina mat sevanam, without direct service to me. So first service to Krishna should happen and then liberation should take place. That is the condition of the devotees. Not that first liberation should take place and then we will figure out the service. No. First there should be prema, first there should be seva. Then liberation will come. We will think about it. It sounds like a good idea. So that is what it was, Mataji. I hope that satisfies your query.
Yeah, actually, I can understand why I didn't understand. So, initially, our thinking is that we will qualify ourselves for one of these types of liberation.
Yeah.
Right? And then basically we are the ones who decide what kind of liberation we want.
Yeah, but for that we have to come to the point where we have to have the maturity of attitude that I don't want any liberation without first having prema. And I will only accept that liberation which is favorable for my prema.
And so when you say that Rupa Goswami, he becomes the interviewer, what is his attitude?
His attitude is that of the 5 types of liberation, we are going to discard the impersonal liberation fully. The other 4 are not very unfavorable to bhakti, If they are favorable to my bhakti and prema, I might consider them.
Oh, okay. So the idea is that our priority is prema. And then if one of those liberations, of course, excluding Sayuja, if one of them is conducive for my prema, then I will consider only.
Wonderful. Now you have come to the same page as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Gaurangi Mataji. Yes, Rohini Nandan Prabhu, you can go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much and for the wonderful class, and thank you for again reminding us what our true goal should be. Prabhu, I like when you mentioned that there is no true love to be found in this world, and so I was just thinking sometimes we see there are some parents who raise their kids in a unconditional way, and they sacrifice so much for their kids, and they just only want their kids to be happy no matter where they are, and they don't want anything in return, how we still we can't label that as prema, or and as Chaitanya Charitamrita says that it is just karma. I'm trying to understand what's what makes it karma, even if there is not even a tinge of desire for their own pleasure, but just for the pleasure of their kids or whatever it is.
See, often that which goes on as prema in this world has three limitations. It is artificial, partial, or conditional. Sometimes parents pretend to love their children in front of the society, but actually they don't love. Some parents are like that. They want to make a show of loving. And today is the day and age where everything has to be shown to others. Otherwise, you can't be successful. There are some parents who make a show of love, and that is artificial. There are some parents who love, but they will love only their children when the children are small. When the children grow up, their love reduces. Partial. And then there is conditional. I will love you if you attain success in life. If you go against my wishes, if you do something that I don't like, then don't expect love from me. So most of the love falls in one of these three categories: partial, artificial, or conditional. So rarely you will find some parent that the child has completely gone against the desires of the parents, and still the parents are unconditionally saying, well, whatever it is, still we love you with the same intensity. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maiya were of that nature, that no matter, whatever happens, we still love Krishna with the same degree of intensity. But in the material world, the intensity changes, it reduces due to unfavorable circumstances. The very definition of prema that Srila Rupa Goswami gives in his literature, Ujjwal Nilmani, is very, very peculiar, and we should, try to see this particular definition. Sri Rupa Goswami says in Ujjwal Nilmani, and I'll quote that particular verse. I'm sharing my screen so that we can have a look. Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Ujjwal Nilmani 14.63. He says Tatra Prema. Now, Rodinanand Prabhu, let's learn what is Prema right from the pen of Sri Rupa Goswami. Sarvatha Dhvamsa Rahitam Sati Api Dhvamsa Karane. Dhvamsa Karane Sati Api. Even though there are thousands of reasons for it breaking, but still Sarvatha Dhvamsa Rahitam, it does not break. It does not get destroyed. Yad Bhava Bandhanam, that bond of power, that bond of love is called as prema. So the bond of love of two people is called as prema. Even if there are thousands of reasons for it being destroyed, it doesn't get destroyed. It doesn't get affected at all. Does it happen in the material world? Please tell me honestly. Yes, please tell me. Yes or no?
No.
It doesn't happen.
No.
Honestly speaking, there are so many reasons for love getting destroyed in the material world, and one or the other reason turns out victorious. But Sri Rupa Goswami says, Sarvatha Dhvamsa Rahitam. It is completely free of destruction. Sati api Dhvamsa Karane. Even though there are thousands of, millions of reasons for it being destroyed. That is called as prema. Because Prabhu, from a Siddhantic point of view, we have to understand one thing. Whatever has a beginning has an end. In the material world, the love of parents towards their child, does it have a beginning? Yes. So whatever has a beginning has to have an end. It reaches a high point, and after that, the only place to go after you reach the high is down below. There is no place, no other place to go. But the nature of prema is it is eternal. It was never produced at a certain point of time. And therefore, this prema cannot go down. And that is the difference between prema and the relationships of the material world from a Siddhantic point of view. So I hope that clarifies. Right.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, Sankari Kaur Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my most respectful obeisances at the dust of your lotus feet. My pranams to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis assembled here. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, as everybody was saying, amazing class. Thank you once again for driving home the real purpose of our human existence. Prabhu, I have one realization to share and a question. I'll go with the realization first. Just yesterday, I was in a class with His Grace Pran Govinda Prabhu from Alachua Temple, and he said something very beautiful, which totally aligns with what you said today, that we need Krishna today. We don't want Krishna. We need him because we want to go back home, back to Godhead. But really, that's not the want. But Krishna doesn't have any need for us. He out and out wants us. And he wants us back, not because it will fulfill anything, but he really wants us. So that's the shift that we also need to bring in us, that the way Krishna wants us, we also need to want him. And that is what give us that change in perception and consciousness that we are looking for. Thank you so much for driving that home again, Prabhu. And Prabhu, my question is that the whole premise of the talk today was that there is nothing conditional that can satisfy us. Are we basing this fact on the principle that we expect everything unconditionally because Krishna wants things unconditionally, or what's the basis of saying this, that nothing transactional can ever satisfy us?
Well, nothing transactional can satisfy us. The basis for this is because Sri Vyasadeva, after compiling the highest instructions for humanity, he could not find satisfaction for himself, although he had, all the resources for satisfaction. He could not find satisfaction for himself. And why these things cannot satisfy us is because the living entity is actually looking for unconditional benefit. They are not really looking for conditional benefit. So when the living entity, see, prema is two ways. Prema is not that, I will satisfy Krishna and in return Krishna has to satisfy me. That is not how prema is going to work. Prema is, I don't expect anything from Krishna. I'll give everything from my side. And the reciprocation from Krishna also comes in that way. Krishna also gives everything from his side without expecting anything. Once Krishna accepts us, there is no sending us back to this world. That is prema. That is Bhagwan's standard of prema. Once he will accept somebody, he will not accept somebody easily. But once he accepts, no matter what you do, he will never let you go. The prime example of that is found in Ramayana. And Bhagwan Ram accepts Sugriva as his friend. And the friendship is conditional, but Bhagwan accepts him in an unconditional way. So the condition is Bhagwan Ram will help kill Bali and Sugriva will help find Sita Devi. And Bhagwan fulfills his part. And when it comes to Sugriva, Sugriva says, well, it is Chaturmas, 4 months of rainy season. I don't want my monkeys to suffer. So can you wait for 4 months? All right, I'll wait for 4 months. So Bhagwan Ram waits for 4 months. And in those 4 months, Sugriva ends up breaking all the 4 regulative principles. In front of Bhagwan, Bhagwan Ram is present right in the camp nearby. But in Bhagwan's personal presence, he's ruling the kingdom and he takes Bali's wife, Tara, as his own wife. So his brother's wife, he takes as his own wife. This is what Sugriv does in those 4 months. And Sugriv forgets after 4 months, Bhagwan Ram is thinking, well, Sugriv promised. I don't know what is happening. Lakshman said, I know what is happening. Give me one chance, I will fix everything. So that is when Lakshman came to remind him, because he's Balram, his guru. When Bhagwan, but Guru will come and remind. So Guru came and reminded him. Then, but Bhagwan Ram could have said, "Oh, you broke the 4 regulative principle. You see, according to ISKCON laws, if you break 4 regulative principle, you cannot go back to Godhead. So Sugriv, sorry, our friendship is over. Now, thank you, Hare Krishna." So he could have said that, but Bhagwan Ram doesn't do that. Instead, once he has accepted somebody, he will never let somebody go. So this is what is the mood of Bhagwan. So Bhagwan also will be unconditional, and we also will be unconditional. That is when prema will be. Otherwise, what else will satisfy? You can look at the relationships in the material world, which are all based on transactions. How much dowry and how much alimony. This is the transaction. I hope you are able to understand. That is what is going on in the world right now. So this cannot satisfy the living entity. What satisfies the living entity is unconditional. As you are, Bhagwan will accept you, and you accept Bhagwan as Bhagwan is. You don't ask Bhagwan, why are you dark? Why couldn't you be fairer? Right? You accept Bhagwan as he is. Bhagwan accepts you as you are. That's how prema works. So I hope that satisfies your query.
It does, Prabhu. Thank you so much. I just want to say one thing, that the more philosophical you get, your humor just increases. So I don't know, how do you maintain the depth of the philosophy and the perfect mixture of humor in all of that? So thank you for making it so much rasapurna for all of us. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Sankari Kaur. Totally agree with you. Yes, Pandit Srivas Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanavas to you. My obeisances to all the Vaishnavas gathered here. Of course, it's a brilliant lecture, and you are my primary source for copy and paste. So thank you for that. Quick question. I really liked one point which you mentioned where you showed the proof of Srila Prabhupada saying, and I quote, he wants to simply glorify the Supreme Lord. That is his business. It's not the business of the Bhakta. So, not because the devotee does not aspire after going back to home, back to Godhead. So that was what you had mentioned. I found the quote as well. This is an incredibly powerful quote. And then, of course, I don't want to be banned from more than one temple in ISKCON this year. So how do we socialize this aspect? Because everywhere we see the emphasis is on going back home. In fact, our flagship magazine also says back to Godhead. So would you please give us some pointers as to how to approach?
I also was asked this, why do you unsettle people by speaking like this? Hari Parshad asks, why do you unsettle people by speaking like this? So I have a habit that I like to unsettle people by speaking in these ways. And I also have a Prabhupada quote with me. Imagine if I would give the class without the Prabhupada quote, what would have happened? I would have gotten a notice from some of the local devotees. What are you doing? Are you preaching against the modus operandi that we have been preaching for so many years, that you have to go back home, back to Godhead? I don't want to go back home, back to Godhead. What will I do after going back to Godhead? Tell me. It's not Disneyland that after going back to Godhead, I'll figure out what I have to do. I don't want to go back to Godhead like that. I don't want to go back to Godhead like that. First should be my relationship with Bhagwan. First should be my prema, my love with Bhagwan. First should be my Bhagwan should accept me unconditionally, and I will accept Bhagwan unconditionally. Then we will speak about going somewhere. And I am not afraid of dying and getting recycled in the material world, but I only request one thing to Bhagwan. that Bhagavan, your prema and this bhakti rush should always flow within my heart. Let that happen. So if I have come to this point, I should stand on top of the rooftops and I should shout that this is the motivation that I have arrived at. Sri Rupa Goswami supports this. He says, give up 5 types of liberation. Srila Prabhupada supports this, but there are, on majority of occasions, Prabhupada told devotees, you have to go back home, back to Godhead. Wonderful. Because you pull in people by giving dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That's how you pull people. But just because you used something to pull people in doesn't mean you have to tell them that this is what it is for the rest of your life. When a child asks a parent, how was I born? The parents don't tell the child all the graphic details, how you were born. The parents tell them, we prayed to the Lord. One fine day outside the door, there was a knock and you were in a basket. All right. That's how you came to us. Then the child grows up and the child comes to know how children are born. So the child realizes, oh, acha, my parents didn't tell me earlier because that was not a suitable time for me to know. Imagine a new person comes and you tell him, give up everything, you won't get anything, don't expect anything from the Lord, give yourself entirely. And that is what true love is. And that person will look at you and say, acha, really? That's what you want me to do? So that is not how you bring people in. Since our society is a preaching movement, so to bring people in, you have to follow what is called as Badish Amish Nyay. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan says in his commentary to Tattva Sandarbh, Badish Amish. Badish is fish. And in order to catch fish, because fish is an impure substance, on the hook also you have to put something impure, a worm. You cannot put halwa on the hook because the fish cannot digest halwa. Right. Therefore, in order to catch an impure substance like a fish, you have to put an impure substance like a worm on the hook. So this logic is called Badish Amish Nyaya, and all the previous acharyas have used this to bring people in. Right? So I will give one final example from my own life. When I was about to enter into 10th grade, my mother told me that Harshad, my civil name Harshad, study nicely and get 90%, you will be happy in life. So I studied nicely. I got 90%. After I got 90%, after a few days, she said, for study for 12th grade nicely and you'll be happy in life. So I cleared 12th grade. Then she said, complete 4 years of graduation nicely and you'll be happy in life. So I somehow scraped through 4 years and I, secured good marks in the final year. Then she said, if you get a job and then you'll be happy in life. So I got a job. Then she said, if only you could get married, I'll be happy in life. I said, all right, I'll get married by your choice. Then she said after a few days, if I could see the face of my grandson, I'll be happy in life. So I said, all right. So I have a son. And then one fine day, after my son grew up, one fine day, he was not listening to me. So my mother told me, what is the use of everything? Your son doesn't listen to you. Right? So this is how parents teach children. And this is how Srila Prabhupada also taught some of his new disciples. You have to understand that Srila Prabhupada in many ways taught his disciples like Indian parents teach their children. I hope you're able to understand. So
Brilliant. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So this is what it is.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, are you happy now?
I'm still trying to figure out. My hopes are on Srila Rupa Goswami, but Srila Rupa Goswami tells me that the desire to become happy is non-devotional. That is what Sri Rupa Goswami says. The desire for making Krishna happy is devotional. That is what Sri Rupa Goswami is telling me. So I'm trying to align with him as much as possible. I don't know how much I succeed. It's a very great idea, very lofty idea, and a very, very it is an ideal world, which I wish to attain someday, that I may give up all my terms and conditions and may surrender unconditionally to prema and give happiness to Bhagavan. So that is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Omkar, Prabhu. Omkar, Prabhu, please.
Hare Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful lecture, Rosie. It was very much enlightening. Sometimes some things need to be repeated so that we don't forget it. Prabhuji, I had one question about this, about the prema aspect, how you said that, it should be unconditional. So I just want to give some two scenarios, like nothing name or anything, just two scenarios to understand this in detail. Like, for example, as a devotee, like in one scenario, we can think like, I'll study or I'll do a business or whatever, etc. and have a stable life, and continuously I'm doing bhakti also, because having a stable life is important. And another scenario can be, in the first scenario, one thing important is the bhakta may be doing that, but at the same time he's also praying to Bhagwan that please give me success in this endeavors, which are ultimately meant to serve Bhagwan. But in the second scenario, a devotee can say that I only want prema from you, and whatever else is needed for making my life stable, I will do whatever is needed. So I won't pray for that. So is this the second scenario which we should aspire for? But it is very difficult to be in such a case.
We should aspire for that scenario wherein we are not asking Bhagwan from anything, because many devotees have this idea, this idea every morning go in front of Bhagwan and my list is here. Bhagwan, please give me this, make sure that my family is healthy, make sure that I live my life properly. Bhagwan, make sure that I always remain here nicely, my finances are not affected, so that I can serve you. Don't you know? Don't you understand how important my service is to you, Bhagwan? So, you should do something. So, this sort of attitude is not good. Therefore, Sri Vallabhacharya, in his Vivek Dhairya Ashraya Stotram, he says something. Very important, very nice thing he says in Vivek Dhairya Ashraya, second verse. He says, Prarthite va tatah kim syat, स्वाम्यभिप्राय संशयात, प्रार्थिते वा ततः किम स्यात्. हिंदी में प्रार्थना करने से क्या होगा? What will happen if you just keep praying for your material desires? Swami abhipraya samshayat. Do you doubt the intentions of your Lord Shri Krishna that you are praying like this every day? Do you doubt that he
No,
doesn't know your situation and he doesn't know that? Do you have a
he
doubt
knows
that
more
you
than me.
understand the situation better than him in order to be praying like this every single day?
He knows more than me.
So if he knows every, then why do you have a doubt that you know the situation better than him? But we are very afraid of exposing ourselves to the uncertainty of God's desires. That is who we are, isn't it? We would
Yes,
rather sit in the comfort bubble of our own set of devotionalized desires rather than subject ourselves to the free flow of Bhagwan's desires, isn't it?
yes, Prabhu.
So the mature devotee is one who gives up this, and every morning he goes, prays his obeisances to Bhagwan and says, Bhagwan, whatever you want is all right, but let me have your prema. That's it.
Yes, Prabhu. And
ठीक
Prabhu,
है,
I had one more.
but then Bhagwan will make you poor, Bhagwan will take away everything from you. And that's
Yes,
okay. It's all right. Let's suffer a little humiliation for Bhagwan. Chalo. Let's suffer a little humiliation for Bhagwan. It's important to
let the society
suffer.
laugh at me.
It's important. No maturity was attained without suffering in this world. No maturity was attained without suffering. Let us prepare ourselves to suffer thoda little bit for Bhagwan. Try to understand. In happiness, nobody attained maturity. We all became immature in happiness. We attained maturity only through suffering. The big lesson of life is this. So if Bhagwan wants to give us suffering, it means Bhagwan is going to put a lot of maturity at the end of that suffering, isn't it? So that will
Yes,
also
Prabhu.
be very helpful for us. So the only thing we want is Bhagwan, let Bhakti Ras always flow within my heart. Let me always please you by singing of you, by speaking of you, by thinking of you. Let that be my staple diet. Right? But if something wrong happens, then what will people say? Oh, Omkar Prabhu, you know what happened to him? Huh?
Yes.
Then the society will say 10 things about me, and I don't want the society. I want to leave the world with a clean reputation. Isn't that what I want? Huh?
Yes.
But that too is a non-devotional desire. So let Bhagwan decide, which reputation you are going to leave this world with. Okay? Because not everybody is blessed with a spick and span reputation in this world. But Bhagwan can ensure that even those who are not blessed with a spick and span reputation can get prema. And finally, that is what we want. Isn't it?
Yes, true. Yes, true.
Okay.
Yes. I have one more question. Should I wait in the queue or?
Yeah. Let others ask, then you come for the second round.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you, Omkar Prabhu, for your understanding. Tulsi Gopi Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much. I had a question that if we pray for our children, and now that we have been blessed with some knowledge in Krishna consciousness, we have attachments and we pray that they should always be protected in Krishna consciousness. So how can we pray that is not tainted with selfish desires? Is there a way to pray for children?
I'm very happy this question is being asked, because I was quoting Sri Vallabhacharya for Omkar Prabhu. I'll quote Sri Vallabhacharya again for your query, because Sri Vallabhacharya says in his Shodash Grantha, again, this is Navaratnam. In his Navaratnam, he says, third verse, Sarvesham Prabhu Sambandho. He's asking you a question, Mataji. Please answer in yes or no. Everybody is connected to Bhagwan already. Yes or no?
Yes.
Of course, they are already connected. Na pratyekam iti sthiti. You don't have to separately pray for everyone, because everyone is already having their connection to Bhagwan, their eternal connection to Bhagwan. Ato anya viniyoge pi chintaka. So why do you worry about viniyog, other people being engaged in Krishna Bhakti? Swasya sopi chet, you are engaged, Bhagwan will ensure that in due course of time or immediately they will also be engaged. By your chinta, by your worrying, nothing will be achieved. Therefore, he begins with this, Chinta kapi na karya. Don't worry about anything in the world. The first instruction to the devotees. Chinta kapi na karya. Don't worry about anything in the world. Nivedita atmabhi. You have offered yourself to Bhagwan. Kadapi. Never at any point of time you worry about anything. Bhagwan api pushtistho. Bhagwan is also situated on the path of pushti marg, on raganuga bhakti. Na karishyati laukikim gatim. He will ensure that you don't get degraded in material life. This promise, Bhagwan, take this promise. Personally, you will not get degraded in material life, provided you have given yourself to Bhagwan. What happens with the rest of them? They have their own connection with Bhagwan. Why are you taking anxiety for somebody else's connection with Bhagwan? You see, many acharyas, their children were not following the path of bhakti. Now, I don't want to name, but many acharyas, their children did not follow the path of bhakti. Do we judge those acharyas for their children not following the path of bhakti? No, we don't judge those acharyas. So just as we don't judge acharyas for their children not following the path of bhakti, nobody is going to come and tomorrow pass a judgment on you by saying that you didn't do good as a parent because your children did not follow the path of bhakti. You do your best to try and make as favorable as an environment possible for their execution of bhakti. But please try to understand that bhakti sometimes also comes with time, and in some cases bhakti also comes with maturity, and in some cases also with suffering. Some people have to suffer in the world before they understand the value of bhakti. So for different people, it happens in different ways. So you give up all those anxieties. You just pray to Bhagwan, let me be connected to you. And Bhagwan, let all of them also, I pray that according to your desire, let their connection also be there with you. But I will not take any anxiety about it. I will do my best. That is what you can do, nothing else. I hope that answers your query to some degree of satisfaction.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, and I should also tell all the devotees here, I will request with folded hands. So I'm coming from Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, we say kar jodte. Kar jodna means we after every surname we add kar. Vengsarkar, Gavaskar, Tendulkar, And kar jodna also means we fold our hands and say. With folded hands, I say to all the devotees, please don't judge any devotee by the quality of their children's Krishna Bhakti. Right? Because what a jiva has brought with them from the previous lives has nothing to do with the parent who is raising them. Very little to do with what the parent that is raising them. So as long as the parent is not abusing their children, as long as the parent is treating their children nicely and giving them a favorable environment for Krishna Bhakti, they are doing their best. Please let parents not be judged on that basis. So that is my request with folded hands to all the devotees, because sometimes even the great Acharya's children have not taken to the path of Bhakti, and there is no fixed formula in this regard. So that is my answer to your query. Right.
Thank you, Tulsi Gauri Mataji. Thank you so much. Okay, Omkar Prabhu, you can go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the chance. Prabhuji, I had this question about the understanding that we don't want to take any mukti. So we see in our Acharya,
Unless we don't want to
it
take any
favors.
mukti unless it is favorable to our prema. That is the condition.
So my question in this regard was like there are two scenarios again in this. Like there is a famous example of Kagbhushundi, who is a devotee of Lord Rama, and he wanted to glorify Rama Leela and Ram Katha, so that is why he stays in the material world like for a long time, and he has happiness in that. And at the same time, our acharyas, they prefer to enter the Leela to serve Bhagavan. So our desire of entering the Leela, like I want to serve Bhagavan in a specific relationship. So isn't it also a kind of desire from ourselves? Like I want to do this.
I want to give happiness to Bhagwan. What is wrong in this?
So I think what I mistaken, I mistook was sometimes when we say that we can have any relation with Bhagwan, many a times, at least I think I am mistaken to think that I will also receive pleasure in such a relation. I think it should be more on
Those
like giving.
motivations are also there in the spiritual world. There is Sadharani Rati, Samanjasa Rati, and Samartha Rati described in Ujjwal Nilmani. Sadharani Rati is the romantic love of Kubja, who wants more happiness for herself and not so much for priority of Krishna's happiness is slightly lesser. That is Sadharani Rati. Samanjasa Rati is present in the queens of Dwarka, where they are equally concerned about their own happiness and equally concerned about Krishna's happiness. Samartha Rati is present in the Vraja Gopis, where they are exclusively dedicated to Sri Krishna's happiness. Mahaprabhu taught us the path of Samartha Rati. That is what, but other motivations are also there in the spiritual world. But do you want to have those motivations, which don't align fully with Mahaprabhu's line of thought? That is the question.
No, we don't want.
Otherwise, it is allowed. There is no problem. You can also say, Bhagwan, 50% happiness mine, 50% happiness yours. All right, that has to Queen in Dwarka, Omkar Prabhu. Chalo. Okay.
No.
Hey,
Yes,
you will have one big palace for yourself.
No.
No. Or you want to have
No.
a small hut somewhere in Vrindavan?
It's better to be in Vrindavan.
Come on. Think properly.
Yes, true.
Think practically, Prabhu. Think practically.
No, Prabhu, it's too costly to maintain palaces.
Yeah. So this is what Mahaprabhu's path is Samartharati. Samartharati, mood of the gopis.
Yes,
Sadharanirati, Samanjasarati, Samartharati. We are believers of Samartharati.
Just like one thing in this. So, can a Gaudiya Vaishnava, just like Kakabhushandi or some other devotee who is staying in the material world and is glorifying Lord Ram's pastimes, so we may glorify the pastimes of Radha Krishna. So, is it technically, like theoretically possible that any Gaudiya Vaishnava wants to remain in this world and not enter the actual Leela and just glorify pastimes of Radha Krishna?
Of course, there are so many Gaudiya Vaishnavas who desired that. Who was that who asked Mahaprabhu to liberate all the living entities at his expense?
Vasudev, I think.
His
It was
incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj. So he asked Mahaprabhu, I don't want to go. You keep me here and give all their sinful reactions to me and liberate them immediately. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur also expresses that desire. You want to see a song by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur where he's expressing that desire?
yes.
Okay, so this song is called Prabhu Tava Pada Yuge. It's a very nice song by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And I will share the lyrics of those songs. And, we can very quickly have a look at those lyrics. And you only tell me, Omkar Prabhu, what is the meaning. Prabhu Tava
Yes,
Pada Yuge Maran Niveden. I offer this prayer at your lotus feet. Now please tell me what does
yes.
this. Nahi Magi Deha Sukha Vidya Dhana Jan. What does it mean?
I don't want Deha Sukha, the desire of the happiness of body, Vidya, knowledge, and Dhana, money and Jana is followers or
Yeah. So I don't want
disciples.
followers, wealth, and material education and happiness for the body. Nahi Magi Swarga. I don't want heavenly planets. Moksha Nahi Magi. I don't want to go back home, back to Godhead. Na kari prarthana kono vibhuti lagi. I don't want any Ashtanga Yoga vibhuti. I don't want any perfection of Ashtanga Yogi. And what do you want? Nija karma guna doshe jai jai janma pai. By my own faults of karma, whatever birth I get, janme janme in every birth, jeno tava nama gungai. Let me always sing of your names. So this is Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bolo. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is a Gaudiya Vaishnava, right?
So in this case, I would like question the desire of Gaudiya Vaishnavas is to serve Radha Krishna. So how in this world he will serve Radha?
There are two ways to serve Sri Radha Krishna in this world. Seva sadhaka rupena, siddha rupena chatrahi. In your mind, mansi seva. Through the body, sadhak seva. Both sevas are possible in this world.
Yes. Yes, true. Thank you. Got the answer.
Many years ago, I watched a speech of Prime Minister Modi, and he has just become the Prime Minister, and he said one thing which because he just newly become the Prime Minister, so his speech was everywhere. So I happened to catch one on. There was a big, big TV put up on the street. People were happy, and he was speaking. And there's one thing he spoke in Hindi, which I like very much, which I like to quote here, which you can use in spiritual life also. He said, "कुछ बनने की मत सोचो, कुछ करने की सोचो." समझ रहे? So he said, "Don't think of becoming someone. Think of doing something." So it's very good in spiritual life. Don't think of attaining some moksha. Think of doing some seva, because prema and
Yes,
seva are of our devotee life. Right?
thank you, Prabhu. Very enlightening. Thank you for this. Hare Krishna. Dhanatana.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, before we move ahead with another 2 or 3 questions, because 2 are there, hand raise, and 1 in chat, I want to ask you, do you have time?
Yeah, I have all the time. I'm here for the seva of the devotees. How can I put a condition? I'm here, no problem.
Pankri Mataji, can I ask the chat question first, if is it okay?
Yes, Mataji, please. Yes, that question has been waiting there for a long.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So this is by Asmit Bharode. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. As Mahaprabhu has come to give the highest fruit from the highest tree, but it is according to individual soul, as I heard from your previous class, highest root of a jiva may be different from the highest root of another jiva. So is the Dāsa of a jiva is flexible in which he will be serving the Lord? Is that right? And all devotees in Gaudiya Parampara will not be manjaris and will not serve Radha Krishna in conjugal mood. Please forgive for any mistake or immaturity seen in asking this question. Dasosmi.
Are Gaudiya Vaishnavas in different moods? Of course, there are Gaudiya Vaishnavas in different moods. Many of the associates of Nityanand Prabhu are Sakhas of Krishna. You can read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can see Dwadash Gopal. What is Dwadash Gopal? They are Sakhas of Krishna. Are they Gaudiya Vaishnavas? Yes, they are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Of course, those who are Rupanugas, those who are followers of Sri Rupa Goswami very strictly, those who also want to follow Sri Rupa Goswami not only in theory but also in example, we'll take to the path of Madhurya Ras. But Sri Rupa Goswami is not like that. He's not reduced the Sampradaya to one small lake, that this is what it is. And then in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he has given all the rasas, including Shantaras. He does not speak in detail about Madhurya Ras in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, because for Madhurya Ras, he wrote a separate textbook. So the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of Madhurya Ras is Ujjwal Nilmani. That's the supplementary part of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he spoke of all the rasas, and he is very broad-minded that except for Shantaras, all other rasas are favorable for execution of Krishna Bhakti. And Gaudiya Vaishnavas, there are many examples. I will give you another historical example. Sri Shyamanand Prabhu, his Diksha Guru was Hriday Chaitanya Das Gosai, who was a worshipper in Sakhya Ras. So there are many Gaudiya Vaishnavas in different rasas. And Chaitanya Charitamrita says every follower feels that their rasa is the highest. I will quote the Praman, because without quoting a Praman, we cannot establish a Siddhanta. So here is Chaitanya Charitamrita saying something. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 8.83. Kintu yar yahi ras sahi sarvottam, tatastha hayya vicharile ache taratama. Kintu yar yahi ras. It is true that whatever relationship a particular devotee has with the Lord is the best for him. So that is what Chaitanya Charitamrita says. But if you study from a neutral point, then you can see some rasa is lower, some is higher. But who wants to study from a neutral point? We all want to be situated in a fixed point. We are not analytical students. We want to become lovers of Bhagwan. So whichever rasa, we want to, and every devotee in the spiritual world think I am dear most to Krishna. Let me tell you, this is a fact. Without pramana, we will not make any statement. So here is another praman from the Bhagavatamritam, where it is specified. Balakas, it is 36211. Bhagavatamritam, BBT edition. Balakas taruna vridha gopaste koti kotisha sarve vidur mahaprayan aham krishnasya netarah. Every one of the millions and millions of cowards in the spiritual world, the children, young people, elders, says, I alone am most dear to Krishna. And Krishna also reciprocates with them in such a way to make them feel that you are most special for me. That is what prema is, right? To make the person feel that you are the one. I love you and nobody else. That is what prema is all about. And only Bhagwan can do this while making everyone feel satisfied at the same time. So different rasas are possible. Gaudiya Vaishnavas are in different rasas. Every devotee in every rasa feels that their rasa is the highest. But in general, those who are following Sri Rupa Goswami, not only in theory but also in example, tend to gravitate towards the rasa that Sri Rupa Goswami, have considered the choicest. So that is the answer to that query.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And hope, Asmat Prabhu, you are satisfied with the answer. Yes, Sankari Kaur Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So Prabhu, we were just talking about parenting, that we just do our part, make it conducive for our kids, whether they pick up or not, it's their prerogative. So Prabhu, in that context, when we come to Canto 5, where there is that verse, right? Guru na shiksha, pitri na, that verse where it says, you can't be a guru, you can't be a husband, you can't be a dad if you can't deliver your child. How do we contextualize that, Prabhu, in this understanding? Because a lot of parents do go through that anxiety that, oh, in that case, I just shouldn't have. I failed parenthood. Just wanted to ask that, Prabhu.
Right. So here is the comment, here is the verse I am sharing with you directly. This is the verse. This is the verse 5:18 that you are speaking of, isn't it? Gurur na sasyat, swajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janani na sasyat. Daivam na tasyan na patischa sasyat na mochayed. One who cannot liberate from samupeta mrityum, from the material world. Commenting upon this, the original commentator, Sridhar Swami, says, Tato bhakti marga upadeshena yona mochayet. If you can't liberate them by giving them bhakti marga upadesh, by giving them instructions on the path of bhakti, then you should not be a parent. Now, question is, please answer in yes or no. Did you give them Bhakti Marg Updesh? Did you give them instructions on the path of Bhakti?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Whatever little I know. Yeah.
All right. So, this is what is the meaning. That if you are willing, if you want to bring a child in the world, you should bring a child in the world with the intention of giving them Bhakti Marg Upadesh. That I will give my children education on the path of Bhakti and good quality education on the path of Bhakti. So this is the intention of the verse. The intention of the verse is not to say that, stop reproducing if you can't give a guarantee. Who can give a guarantee? Now, I will ask you another query, Mataji. This statement was spoken by whom?
Rishabdev.
Rishabdev. Did all of Rishabdev's children go back to Godhead in that life? No. So Rishabdev fails his own test, huh? So that's not the intention of the verse. The intention of the verse is clarified by the commentator Srila Sridhar Swami. Did Bhagwan Rishabdev give them instructions on the path of Bhakti? Yes. Of course he gave them. Where did he give them instructions on the path of Bhakti? In 5th canto, 5th chapter. There is a big list of verses. Hamse gurau mai bhaktyanuvritya vitrishnaya dvandva titikshaya cha sarvatra janto vyasana bhagatya jigyasaya tapasya nivritya mat karma virmat kathaya cha nityam mat deva sangat guna kirtanan mein. So many 4 verses of direct bhakti he gives instructions. My sons, you should accept a highly elevated Paramhams, a spiritually advanced spiritual master. In this way, place your faith and love in me. You should detest sense gratification and tolerate duality of pleasure and pain, which are like the seasonal changes. Try to realize the miserable condition of living entities who are miserable even in the higher planetary systems. Philosophically inquire about the truth, then undergo all kinds of austerities. Then he says, listen to discussions about Supreme Personality of Godhead. Always associate with devotees. Chant about it. Glorify the Lord. So, did Sri Rishabdev fulfill his own words? Of course he did. So, Bhakti Marg Upadeshena. When we read from various angles, therefore Srila Prabhupada used to say, you should understand a verse from different points of view. Otherwise, we will be with that confusion that if I cannot liberate my children, I should not procreate. So that is not the intention of the verse. The intention is, if I cannot give them Bhakti Marg Upadesh, if I cannot give them instructions on the path of Bhakti, it is better not to bring children in the world to further push them into conditioned life. So that is the meaning of the verse. So I hope that satisfies your query.
Yes, Prabhu, it does. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. Last question for today. Manjuali Gopi Mataji, please go ahead.
She has to unmute. She's muted again. 1 minute. Yeah.
Kali Mataji, can you please unmute yourself? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Also visible. Yes, please.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu and Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Very wonderful class, and it really stirred my. Just one question. Maybe you may say that it's not related to the class, but somehow it may be related to the class too. So my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Loknath Swami Maharaj, is coming to our home, and I have this feeling of pride that out of so many disciples, why did he choose me in Bangalore? And I'm really, really happy, and I'm so happy that my Guru Maharaj chose me. So that feeling, I haven't still pleased him because he's not here yet. So when he comes here, yes, we made so many plans to serve him, please him. But still, here I'm feeling very happy because my Guru Maharaj chose me. And I'm happy, as you said, that the devotee feels happy. So on the devotional platform. Now, number one, and number two, what is that which will actually please my Guru Maharaj?
So, Kirtida Sundari Mataji, could you get both the queries?
Only the second one, Manjuali Mataji, you were breaking for the first. We just heard that your Guru Maharaj is coming, you are happy, and that he chose you. Then?
Yes. Then, so is this, and still I'm yet to please my Guru Maharaj, right? Because he's not here. So we've made plans that yes, we will do this for Guru Maharaj, we'll do that for Guru Maharaj. But so is this transactional kind of a thing that Prabhu was mentioning earlier in the class? So that yes, I am happy, but still I'm not pleased my Guru Maharaj. So is it okay to feel like this? I mean, yes, of course, Guru Maharaj is coming and it's a great a feeling of pride for me somehow. But is this a situation a transactional thing that I am feeling happy? I don't know how to put it though.
Right.
But
So the answer to that query is that if you are thinking of getting something material out of this opportunity, then definitely it is transactional. There are many material things which people can get out of service of Guru. The most important ones being Pratishtha and Puja. That see, I was honored above all of you. So you see now I am the one I'm the chosen one. I am the pathway to Bhagwan henceforth. So everyone should go through me henceforth. So this sort of mindset may develop in somebody. Second is the advertisement of one's good fortune should be avoided by those who are serious in spiritual life, because it is specified in Srimad Bhagavatam. I will share the direct word which was spoken by Bhagwan Krishna to Uddhav in 11:11:34 to 40. One of the verses he says, Kritasya aparikirtanam. Kritasya aparikirtanam, if we go in word for word, it is, let me find where it is. Yes. You can see here, Kritasya, one's devotional activities, aparikirtanam, not advertising. So Sri Krishna says here to Uddhav, one of the limbs of bhakti is to not advertise the limbs of bhakti that one has executed. While commenting on this verse, many previous acharyas say, Dharmaha ksharati kirtanat. Uh, whatever merit we earn is washed away by advertising it. So many places in India, there are Gupta Dan, anonymous donation. Why? Because we want to benefit, we want to give benefit without taking anything for ourselves. So we don't want any selfish material gains. So as long as the intention is in uh, uh, ensuring that the Guru is happy, the Guru is peacefully situated and able to execute their bhajan nicely, as long as the intention is in that direction, as long as we don't want anything in return for our own fame and recognition, till that point of time, the motivation is more or less all right, no problem. And what was the second question, Kirtada Sundari Mataji? Can you tell me?
Oh, Manjwali Mataji, can you repeat?
sorry,
How, how can
so
I?
Guru is situated in his bhajan nicely. Yes, one has to
Yeah. So I
be
think
careful about that.
the second question was how can we please him when he's here? Was the second question. Yeah.
Yes,
Now,
yes, Prabhu, yes.
so Srila Rupa Goswami has said in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vishrambhena Guruha Seva. Vishrambhena means with confidence one should know what the Guru likes, what the Guru does not like. And we should have a respectful distance from the Guru, yet in our mind we should know with confidence what is going to make the Guru happy. And at the same time, with our words, with our deeds, with our hospitality, we should ensure that the Guru becomes happy. Sometimes some disciples they are not able to decide when the Guru wants us to stop a particular seva. For example, even in glorification, they go overboard. Oh Maharaj, you are here, and then they go on and on and on and on, and they glorify so much that any guru may feel a little embarrassed by such glorification. So Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Ati stuti haya ei nindar lakshan. That too much glorification is actually a symptom of criticism. So this is what it says. Ati stuti haya ei nindar lakshan. Madhya Lila 10.182. That glorification is simply another form of criticism or blasphemy. So in our words, we should be measured, measured to the degree that it will give Guru pleasure. In our actions, we should be measured to the degree that it will give Guru pleasure. But we should not be so scared that we, always remain away. We should serve with confidence in the mind, but we should know till what limit the Guru is pleased, beyond which, pleasure turns into displeasure. So those who know this very subtle boundary, these boundaries are understood only by personal interaction with the Guru. They cannot be understood otherwise. So the more one has personal interaction with the Guru, the more one is able to understand the mood of the Guru and the boundaries to be respected in the presence of the Guru. So that is the answer to the query. I hope that satisfies the query.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. You've really set the mood to receive Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
One very simple suggestion that I would like to give to make the most out of one's seva to the Guru. It is best to keep most of the seva as secret as possible. That is one recommendation that I can give. Most of the seva as secret as possible. Maybe 1 or 2 photographs here that my Guru was here. That's all right. But most of the seva should be kept as secret as possible. So that is the recommendation of the Bhagavad. Right.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Okay, dear devotees, I have one. Prabhuji, one last in chat. Devotees are asking if you can take the seminar on parenting in future. And many devotees are seconding that thought. So
I am yet to become a successful parent. So how can I give a seminar on parenting? My child is still growing up. People ask me, can you give a seminar on Grihastha Ashram? I have not yet crossed 50 or 65. First, let my Grihastha Ashram become successful. So many, I have not yet seen all the years of Grihastha Ashram. So sometimes devotees may very kindly invite, but I am not a person who is experienced. We should ask a devotee who has put their kids through college and then their kids have turned out to be devotees. They should be asked to give seminars. I will give you name of one devotee, my very dear friend Param Karuna Prabhu. He is from Portland. He trained both his kids and they were gold medalists, maths Olympiads, and they're both good devotees, very good devotees. So, maybe Param Karuna Prabhu should be asked, and his good wife Damodar Leela Mataji, they should be asked to give a seminar on parenting, because they are much better, 100 times better parents than me. I will say, I don't have any hesitation to say 100 times better parents than me. So they should give such a seminar. So that is what I can say.
thank you so much, Prabhuji. And Tulsi Gopi Mataji, all rest of your seminars also lie on the same platform. So maybe we can reach out to Param Karuna Prabhu, as Prabhuji already suggested. Okay, dear devotees, thank you all so much for your wonderful association on this very auspicious day. And thank you so much, Prabhuji. We are so much grateful to you for your presence. You really made our day, and you made so many eye-opening things for today that it really turned out so nicely. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm very grateful to all the devotees. My pranams to all the devotees. Thank you so much.
Yes, dear all, please, let's all pay.
Sorry. Please unmute. Kirtida, sorry. I was just trying to allow everyone to unmute.
Maybe it's a question for...
Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji. So beautiful class.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Wonderful class.
Pranam. Wonderful,
Thank
wonderful
you.
lecture.
Thank you so much,
Wonderful.
Hare Krishna
Thank
Prabhuji,
you.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hoping
Thank you,
happy
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha
Yasya
Kripa
Kripa
Sindhuvya
Sindhuvya
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much.
His Grace Hari Prasad Das Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai.
Hari Bol Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, dear devotees. I'm ending the call. Prabhuji, hope to have your association soon in the near future.
Yes.
Hare
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Ending the call, dear devotees. Hari Bol.
Hare